All right, hey. So I know you're buddy with Michael Knowles. Recently, he said the phrase, quote, we should eradicate transgenderism. And
that is, yeah, you got it right.
So I know you
From
agree
public
with him.
life, yeah.
I know you agree with him on some level. How would you go about that? How do you eliminate transgenderism without eliminating transgenders?
Okay, I warned you about this.
Okay.
I love the passion. Let the process play out, okay? Jeez. So specifically, he said transgenderism, right, which is an ideology, and he said
they're intertwined, like Judaism and Jewish people, like.
Well, hold on. He said from public life, okay? So, yeah, that's not the best example. Just don't use that one. But let me kind of zero in on this. Yeah, I do agree with it 100%. The best way is that we should not be platforming or acting as if a mental delusion is normal, good for children, or something that is acceptable in decent society.
So, in what way is it? Okay, so throughout history, we've had these medical breakthroughs where we learn that things are just like how people are, you know. Who's to say that somebody is not born the wrong gender? Like, what is there? So I'm
Do it
just
again,
asking,
we're going to have to kick you out. Please don't interrupt.
How do you know that what's happening right now isn't like a medical breakthrough? How do you know it is a mental illness to be eradicated?
Yeah, 5,000 years of recorded history and common sense that men can't
But back in history, were there not like skeletons being dug up with female artifacts around them? Were there not sculptures of two married women? I mean, it's been a thing forever. It's been, transgenderism.
Let's play this out.
LGBTQ.
So how do I know that biological reality is true? Chromosomes.
I'm not arguing about biological reality.
Yeah, my chromosomes instruct my opinion first and foremost. So XX, XY chromosomes, and I reject the term gender. Actually, it's sex, and you have a sex at birth, and you cannot change that. So let me just kind of ask a question. Medical advancements, the medical community can be very wrong. We used to do lobotomies, and I'm glad we stopped doing that. So doctors have been wrong before. And in fact, doctors have been wrong about a lot of things over the last 100 years. And in fact, if all of a sudden the medical consensus from the AMA, which is headquartered right down the street, by the way, is that we have to have these pediatric gender affirming reassignment clinics that have breast reduction surgery or literally mastectomies for 12 or 13-year-olds to then assign them Lupron, estrogen, and testosterone treatment for somebody that might just be going through puberty and having anxiousness and unease, I'm probably going to call that doctor a fraud. And any person with common sense should do that too.
Okay, super quick. Last thing. So my main question was about the term eradicate transgenderism.
So can I give you some examples?
Yeah, sure.
We shouldn't teach it in our schools. We also shouldn't allow men to compete against women in NCAA sports. Okay.
What about the people who are transgender that have converted, are currently transgender?
So why
Would you forcefully detransition them?
Why couldn't Thomas still compete against men despite his mental delusion? Why do we have to reaccommodate all female sports for a single individual that obviously has an advantage with bone density and testosterone production? Why is it now our problem? Why does society have to reorganize and reconfigure for one very loud, obviously disturbed person? Would it be more fair to say, okay, you have a problem, so keep competing in the category that you were born to. You can still wear whatever you want, I guess, and dress and do the treatments you want, but since you're such an excellent swimmer, go swim against boys. Oh, because he's a narcissist and he used to finish 200 against boys, and when he competes against girls, he wins the championship because he's a cheat. Because it's all about him, not about the competition or about fairness.
Answer the question.
Okay, I mean, that's all I was wondering. Thanks.
Charlie, I was told to keep it short, so I will. So you touched on LGBTQ rights a lot. You've talked about, trans bathrooms, you getting banned from Twitter, very, awful. But I'm wondering if I can get a straight answer, yes or no. Do you think the acceptance of queer people in society is a good thing?
Well, define acceptance and define queer, because when I grew up, that was like a slander. So I don't know, that's like a thing now.
Queer being lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. And what was the other word you asked?
What do you
me
mean
to find?
acceptance? What do you mean?
Acceptance being that, society, accepts that, doesn't try to change that, doesn't try to say that it's not a social, like it's not a good thing for you to be gay, it's not a good thing for you to be trans, and in our institutions also just offering them resources to just come to terms with their sexuality, not feel bad about it. Basically, by acceptance, I generally mean society shouldn't make people feel bad about who they are. So, do you agree with that?
No. I mean, we should feel bad about all sorts of things. So, I mean, yeah, happy to get the mic back up, but I mean, I'll just ask you a very simple question, and this will tell, what is a woman?
A woman is someone who identifies as a woman.
Got it. So do you think a definition of someone able to become pregnant would be a woman?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
So if someone can become pregnant, would that person be defined as a woman?
Depends on if they identify as a woman.
Right. So, okay, we're now getting to the root of the issue. So do you believe that truth is objective or subjective? Do you believe in absolute truth?
Sure.
Okay, so if you believe in absolute truth, shouldn't we have absolute terms of what a infant-bearing or infant-birthing person is, otherwise known as a woman?
No.
Okay, so let me ask you this a different way, I suppose. So if anyone can identify at anything at any time, correct?
Anyone can identify
As a woman or a man, you can just choose at any time, right?
Gender? Well,
Sure.
Gender identity isn't switching genders all the time. It just depends,
But that's your position, right? That's fair to say? That you could change your gender?
my position is that you should accept people's gender identity, and you
Right,
shouldn't
okay,
try to shame them out.
so
Not
let
able
me ask
to
you,
say
should we
anything.
accept people that think they're younger than they
That's a
actually
very
are?
interesting one. Let's listen to the second one.
Because that's a mental condition where people say, I identify as an 8-year-old, but they're really 50. Should we accept someone be able to say they're younger?
No, but I think that's a very false equivalence.
Why is it a false equivalence?
Because there's scientific research supporting that gender identity is something that is, there's scientific research that supports people and says that if you identify as a certain gender, then that is, your gender. There's this paper on Scientific American that I found very interesting that said, it has to do with, your brain formation in the womb, where gender identity forms, but it's different from sex. That's very different from a disorder where you say, I'm not actually my age, because...
Well, hold on. You just agreed with me. You said it's a brain formation issue. It's a brain
I
formation...
didn't say it was a disorder.
Well, so you don't think transgenderism is a disorder?
No.
What is gender dysphoria?
Gender dysphoria is when you're very uncomfortable with your own body, and that usually relates to gender, and that can usually be treated if you choose to transition to...
Right, so it's a mental condition, right?
Gender dysphoria is, but transgenderism is not.
What's the difference?
The difference between gender dysphoria and transgenderism? Being transgender means that you don't identify with the gender you're born with. Gender dysphoria
So you
means
don't
you're
want to say what you know,
uncomfortable with
but
your
what you
body.
watch in the movie.
So
Can you
two different
imagine
things.
this?
Well, so
Okay.
you cannot be
Let's
quote-unquote
see.
transgender without suffering from gender dysphoria. So let me ask you one more question. So you believe that we
I
can
see.
dictate pronouns. Can I choose my adjectives? Can I decide to be super rich? Or can I decide to be small? Is there anything objective that we have to actually admit? Or can you just change anything at any time?
I think people should have the right to determine their pronouns. And I don't think...
No, how about adjectives?
I don't think people actually do that, so I don't know why that's something you're...
Well, of course, if someone says, I declare I'm rich, it's no longer than saying I'm declare I'm a man. Your chromosomes aren't that way. You don't get to choose what your reality is, do you?
Gender identity is reality.
Okay, so anyone could be anything. Let me ask, how about species reality? Can I change my species?
No. Of
Why?
course not.
There's people that identify as cats and dogs all the time. It's a serious mental condition. It is. It's treated all the time. Tens of thousands of cases every single year. So basically, if you believe in absolute truth, which you say you do, why wouldn't you believe in absolute truth when it comes to chromosomal
Woman's
structure?
source in one's body.
Because gender and chromosomal sex are two different things.
Right, according to your opinion. Got it. So, but
Fine,
now you want to impose that opinion on the rest of society, right? You can have whatever opinion you want. Here's our position. That opinion should now not apply to all of a sudden saying that men and women's sports should be conflated. Final question. Did you find a moral problem with the University of Pennsylvania swimmer changing from a man to a woman and winning the NCAA championship, defeating other women?
That was sad.
Well, I'm not familiar, but I'm pretty sure that the NCAA has some rules that makes it so people who transition have, kind of a competitive, fair thing. So I haven't done not much research into those rules, but
Yeah, okay, so
usually they make
let me
it
catch
so-
you up to speed. 462nd best male swimmer, best female swimmer, NCAA champion. Do you see a problem with that?
Are you suggesting that she transitioned to a woman to get better at swimming?
Of course.
Cut and join.
And we shouldn't allow that to happen
Why would you
because
transition yourself just to
Cut and
become
join.
better at a sport? Who
because
does
you're a
that?
narcissist. That's why. Because it's like saying, why would anyone steal anything? Why would anyone cut in line? People do bad things. It's not up to us as society to accommodate the rules for your impulses to go do bad things. Last question. Do you think there's differences between men and women?
Was this the actual last question?
Yeah, last. I'm curious. No, I'm curious because I can't believe you're paying for this. It's like so interesting.
Well, there are actual
Yeah,
differences
sure.
between men and women, yes, in terms of, chromosomes, as you mentioned. So, yeah, sure.
Okay, so therefore we agree that men and women have differences. We should define society around those differences. And one of those differences is that women they have lower testosterone levels and they could be easily exploited by men, which is what happens far too often. And it's incumbent on men with higher testosterone levels who are physically stronger to protect women against the exploitation of men who think they are women. That's a moral question and a moral claim. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it.
Wow, that's a very interesting one. To be honest with you, these people, you understand, are just delusional. This is people that are suffering. These are people who are confused. And then that is the reason why he was not able to define what a woman is. And it's not that because of he does not know, but he was just afraid of the follow-up question that would follow when he say what a woman is. And of course, we could look at it in the same biologically. Of course, we could say that a woman is someone with the XX chromosome. Likewise, a man, someone with the XY chromosome. Now, if you look at it in a sense, you realize that these people, in a sense, are trying to change things as how God have decided to created us. Just like how he say, you understand, in Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, he says that what he created was what? Both male and female. And then what now happened that some people want to be identified as male and others want to also identify as female. Why? What has happened? That is the mental disorder that we are talking about. And now if we look at it in a sense critically, of course, just like how the Bible have already stated in the book of Leviticus, if we look at Leviticus chapter 18 verse 22, it says that you shall not lie with a male as a woman, and it is abomination. So if you look at in a sense some of these things, some of these trans people could feel that that is not what in a sense it means. Some could feel that it was referring to a place. I know that a lot of you have thought an opinion concerning this, and I wanted to drop it at the comment section, and may God bless you as you do so. So this is the end of my video. If you like my reaction, should like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section, and I'm going to check it out. So you remain blessed, and I see you in my next video. Goodbye.